He's actually said that he was from Portugal, and I was like, I don't care where you're from.
And the first thing he did was, he's like, man, what if you're like talking to some guy and not, you know, this girl that you think that you're talking to? And I was like, man, look, I don't really care. In a word, how is it? It sucks.
We talked every day, and when Skype didn't work well, then we were looking for another application.
So the final question that T and I get a lot, especially since we're kind of nomadic right now, is what are our plans for the future?
Hey guys, to celebrate our 1,000 subscribers, we just wanted to make a video, kind of like a Q&A, just so you guys can get to know us better. We really hope that you guys enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome to Misha and T channel. So we just wanted to do something different and special for you guys to thank you for 1,000 subscribers. So first of all, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Without you, this is not possible. We're so happy that you guys are out there watching and subscribing and watching our content, and we're just so thankful for y'all. Thank you so much from the bottom of our
Because from the
hearts.
very beginning we wanted to create the channel especially for our friends and families, just to let them know that we are being hundreds of miles away from our hometowns. We are totally fine, we're happy, and we didn't expect this channel to grow so fast. So that's how we decided to make that video, to explain who we are and how did we meet, and just a little bit of our relationship, to introduce ourselves.
Definitely. So let's get started with by far the most popular question that T and I get all the time is, how did you guys meet? Well, believe it or not, we met back in 2018 online, and it began innocently enough when I wanted to learn how to speak Russian.
And I wanted to teach Russian.
My original plan was to attend the community college that I live near and to take Russian classes there. The only problem was that the class started at 2:45 and that my job let off at 3 o'clock. I tried to ask my boss if I came in 30 minutes early, could I leave 15 minutes early? And they were like, no. So I was pretty upset. And one day when I was just voicing my displeasure about my job and my boss, a coworker came to me and he was just trying to help out with the situation. He said, hey, why don't you just look on Facebook to see if you can find like a native language speaker who can teach you. And I was like, wow, that sounds like a great idea. So I did it, and I met T.
T, because T was running her Russian community at that time, and I was actually the first who messaged Mish. I was picking randomly people around, trying to understand, are they going to be interested in the Russian language or no, just by their eyes. And looking in Misha's eyes, I understood that he had such a wide smile and that beautiful black bow tie. He looked very much like a gentleman. I decided that you will never refuse me in my request of joining my Russian community. And that what happened. I sent him a message, and he was so happy that he started speaking Russian with me. His Russian was quite messy, but I appreciated effort. He's actually said that he was from Portugal, and I was like, I don't care where you're from. Like, Portugal, that's great, that's fantastic.
That's right. My Russian was so bad I managed to say that I mentioned I was from Portugal. So the next day, after finding T and her Facebook group, I returned to work to let my coworker know that his idea worked. And the first thing he did was, he's like, man, what if you're like talking to some guy and not, you know, this girl that you think that you're talking to? And I was like, man, look, I don't really care if I'm talking to a guy or if I'm talking to a girl. I just want to learn how to speak Russian. So honestly, it just began innocently enough with me just learning how to speak Russian. And then over the years, it just developed into something more.
Yes, but we started, as you said, quite innocent. It became a friendship for us, but it was a very special, strong friendship.
Yes.
Like we really were into each other. Gradually, we understood that we are matching in so many questions. We both love sports. We like walking better than driving. We like learning something new about the places we go. We like different kind of activities and just the many things going on in the world. We understood that we agree in many things.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move on to the second question. So the second question that we get quite often is, how does it feel to have been in a long distance relationship for so long?
To describe it in one word.
Yeah, so to be exact, T and I were in a long distance relationship for 3 years. And in a word, how is it? It sucks. For all you guys out there that are in long distance relationships, I wish I had a better word for you. If you are in a long distance relationship, I'm pretty sure that you can relate. But it definitely takes a lot of work. It doesn't now, does it take a lot of work to love tea? No. Loving tea is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. But it does take a lot of work as far as like, you have to make time for your relationship. When you're living in the same city as somebody, it's pretty easy. You just meet up and then you go and you kind of like...
You live in the same time zone and we had 7 hours difference or 8 in the winter. That simply meant that the whole day of Mish or me should be reorganized completely.
Exactly.
When Mish is asleep, I do my stuff around home. I lived with my parents, and you know, how does it feel to live in the family? Like everybody needs something from you to do. And I freed the part of my day to be just with Mish. We never missed any single day to talk. We talked every day. And when Skype didn't work well, then we were looking for another application. We discussed everything. It's another side of this relationship. You need to maintain somehow good relationship between each other, but you also need to overcome many difficulties going on in the world, in the families, just around you, just visa issues, a pandemic, because right after we got parted, pandemic hit, which nobody expected. We thought that we are going to be parted for several months and then we reunite and everything will be fantastic. Vanilla relationship.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
Pandemic really divided us for over 2 years.
Yeah, when T went back to Russia at the end of January, we were on the USCIS website and we were like, oh, 6 to 7 months. Okay, cool. I'll see you in July. And we did not see each other again until June of the next year.
And only for 9 days. It was a very short trip.
Yeah, only for 9 days. And I can definitely say that, like, you have to make time for each other. Like, my friends and even my family got to a point where they knew, don't ask me to do anything before 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon because I just wasn't going to do it. And if you didn't, I mean, if you didn't respect that, then I'm sorry, I just didn't do anything with you. But T came first. There was only very special circumstances where I ever broke that, and then I would let T know like days in advance, so that way she could, if she had something that she had to do during that day, then she could do something during that day too. But I guess the biggest thing is like your communication really comes into play at that point, because during this point we faced hardships just like everyone else does. So, you know, life doesn't really care that you're separated. You know, life goes on, and the things that happen in life still happen. I know that during this time, like T lost her babushka, and there were some other things that happened. But
you also lost members of the family.
Yes, I also lost members of my family, and birthdays happen, Christmases happen.
Yes, birthdays was the
and-
most painful thing to survive.
Yeah, and you can't be with the person that you love to celebrate, and you can't be with the person that you love to help them through the grieving process. You can't hold someone. You know, the only thing that you really have is your words, and so you really have to communicate what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you're emotionally going through during that time period, so that way your partner can help you during this process and can go through that process with you. That's the number one thing I can say, is that it takes a lot of communication, and you have to be able to work at this communication. You have to be like, no, I can't do this on this day because I'm going to spend time with T. So I think that's the number one thing that I would take away from this. So the third question that we get a lot of is, how does it feel to be a Russian American couple?
We are too extraordinary to be passed by, and like people notice us. People draw their attention to us.
Yeah. So my response to that would be like, well, what does it feel like to be a Asian and American couple? What does it feel like to be a British and American couple, an Italian and American couple, a Canadian and American couple? What does it feel like to be part of any international couple? Well, being in an international relationship, I can tell you this much. Like, there's a lot of positives to it that I absolutely love, and I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. We get to share each other's cultures. We get to share each other's unique experiences with each other and with our families. Obviously, you get to travel a lot, so that's a really good plus. But then, like, if you're from two countries such as the ones that T and I are from, there's going to be things that happen that are simply out of your control, and you have to kind of learn how to roll with the punches when it comes to those type of things.
I like to think that we're doing more for relationship between our countries more than our officials. Because we're really tying communities. We're really tying American family and Russian family. Maybe before they didn't think in such a positive way about each other, you know, but after meeting somebody in a person due to us, they understand that we're all the same people living on the same planet and wanting the same things.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely say that. In my experiences in traveling to Eastern Europe, I can definitely say that people are people. You know, we all want this. They all want the same things. We all want the same things. You know, people just want to raise families,
Have a roof.
raise children to be good people, have a roof over their head, food on the table, clothes on your back.
Having love and care every day.
Yeah, and that's it. So that's
Also, being in a relationship with somebody from another country is like giving something new every day to each other. It's like opening a new universe. There is the whole universe of Mish to learn, and I do it every day. I can't stop surprised of how many different sides is in this personality that I have never seen in my country.
Yes, and living with T, I definitely get to learn new experiences, new traditions, new superstitions every day. In the U.S., we like to say that Russia is a riddle wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a riddle. So I don't know where I'm at in that quagmire, but I can definitely say that it's been the most enjoyable enigma and riddle that I've ever been inside of, so, and part of. So. So the final question that T and I get a lot, especially since we're kind of nomadic right now, is what are our plans for the future? And right now, like, to be 100% honest, we're not really sure. We're just kind of taking it day by day, and we'll see what happens from there. Of course, T and I do have some plans for the future As far as like some traveling, I know we plan on visiting some other parts of Georgia and some other things in the near future. But as far as like some other things, we're just gonna like say that we're just waiting to see how the future plays out and see what happens.
I mean, we really want to get married, but now we were so tired for being apart for so long, and now we just decided to escape to some neutral area and just to enjoy our days as much as we can. Just wandering around, going to unknown places, taking coffee, and just whatever we see, whatever we find attractive. Just
Definitely.
to be like, just for each other, guys. We're no families, no, how can I say it better, no visa issues.
Yes.
We're just birds are singing and the sun is shining.
Yes, so we're definitely thankful for the present. We're trying to be we try to be present in everything we do. We try to take each day as it comes. But one thing that we are definitely grateful for, we are definitely grateful for Georgia and for the people of Georgia, because this is the first place to give Mish and T their first official home. So we are very happy for the people of Georgia. Malova.
Gamarjos.
Okay guys, but I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up right there. We just answered a few questions, but like we said previously at the beginning of the video, if you guys have any other questions, or if you want us to further expand and talk about more about any of the other questions that we've answered, or if you guys have more specific questions for us, just leave them in the comments below, and we'll try to answer all of your questions and all the questions as soon as possible. And we just want to say thank you for supporting us and our channel, and we hope that we can keep delivering you guys great content, and that you guys keep watching and subscribing and liking.
Yeah. Have a nice day, everybody.
All right, bye guys.